All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Rich Walsh sitting next to Gene Collier for tonight's show. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about the big news that's going on today. Joe Hayden, you can all take a big sigh of relief right now. Take a deep breath because he's fine. He was carted off early in practice after a player stepped on his foot, taken up to the trainers. I was told it was a minor injury, nothing serious. He will be okay. The Steelers officially said that he is being evaluated for an injury, and they'll update it after the first preseason game on Friday. So we'll hear something definitive after Friday's preseason game, the one that you can watch on KDKA News. And the other big information today is Josh Dobbs will get to start at quarterback for the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger's not going to play. I'd imagine he's not going to play the next game either. But Dobbs gets a start over Mason Rudolph. That's one of the few battles that's going on during camp right now. Dobbs versus Rudolph for the backup job. Dobbs appears to have the leg up right now, Gene. But, we're only, 14 days into camp right now. And, that can change. Everything can change a lot. But the one thing that Dobbs does have over Mason Rudolph is he has that experience from last year preparing as the backup, even playing in a couple games. And, I think that potentially could help a guy going into this year. We'll see what Mason Rudolph can do because I had a chance to talk to him yesterday, and he feels like he's leaps and bounds from where he was last year at this point, that things are coming easier to him. So, maybe we'll see him taking that next step in the second half of this preseason game on Friday against the Buccaneers.
Yeah, he said he's a lot more relaxed, and he pulled out that cliche, the game has slowed down for me. It's funny how no one ever says the game has sped up for me. I understand it even less now than I did last year.
All right, well, the Pirates are losers tonight, 8-3, and it's just if they don't get blown out, they blow games like last night in the ninth inning where they potentially could have tied the game in the bottom of the ninth. But, Elias Diaz, sometimes fundamentals, they don't really understand the game over there, the fundamental part of the game, the Pirates that I'm talking about. And Elias Diaz was standing in the baseline. He was called for interference. The Brewers get another run. But the Buccos do get a run last night. Would have tied the game if it wasn't for that play. Things like that just happen to the Pirates. They find ways to lose games or they get blown out. And this doesn't even look like the team that we saw early in the year, whether you want to talk about the team at the beginning of April or the team that even lost some games. At least they were playing close games at times. And then the team that went on a hot streak before that All-Star game, I don't even know how to put it into words, Gene, because that team was playing decent up until the All-Star break. Then all of a sudden you see this team.
Well, yeah, it's rare that you see teams struggle out of the break sometimes, but this one, I think they were saying on the broadcast tonight that a Pirate team hasn't come out of the break like this since 1985. I believe that was a team that lost 107 games. This team will be hard-pressed to do that, but the way they're playing now, they look capable of just about anything. And you're right, Rich, they keep making, terrible elementary mistakes. I mean, Elias Diaz, you can't stand in the baseline without the baseball, but you can if you're a Pirate, I guess.
Yeah, you can if you're a Pirate. That should be on a T-shirt somewhere. All right, let's go out to Pete in Squirrel Hill. What's up, Pete?
How's my two boys doing tonight?
Good, thanks for calling, buddy.
Rich, that hair is looking good again, my man. You're a trendsetter.
Yeah, I'm getting a haircut tomorrow, too, so it should look better then.
Wow. Hey, let me ask you a question, okay? I called last night and asked a simple question, which I've been asking many, many times over, Rich, okay? A friend of mine worked for the Pirates organization for 40 years, and he told me this firsthand. Why hasn't anyone in this town, in the media, looked in Neil Huntington's eye and asked him why he chose to pass on Mike Trout in a draft? My buddy's father told me they chose to pass on him. They were worried about Andrew McCutcheon's ego. I asked Bob Pompiani and Paul Weiss the same question last night, and you know what Paul Weiss's response was? I don't even know what that means. I wasn't speaking Syrian Aramaic. Yeah. I wasn't speaking Swahili. I was speaking English, a simple question. I don't even know what that means. So what do you think about that?
Well, Pete, I appreciate you calling. You know what? I have never even asked that question, Neil Huntington. Never really thought to because, 20-some teams passed on Mike Trout for some reason. Obviously, those were all huge mistakes right now if you pass on Mike Trout. But
That's what I thought. I thought 26 teams passed on Mike Trout.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number when he was drafted, but a ton of teams passed on him.
So why would anybody ask Neil Huntington that question? I don't understand this question.
I mean, Neil Huntington, you know, Pete, you could ask that question about a lot of guys that Neil Huntington passed on. This Pirates team, I don't know. Someone's got to pay for what's going on right now. I don't know who loses their job, if it's scouts, if it's Ray Searage, but you got to make a change somewhere because, they're not getting it done. They've got to be the worst professional franchise, period.
In the world, in all sports?
Maybe not all. I'm saying all United States,
In the United States. Well, they're the worst since the All-Star break.
Well, but I'm saying worst run. They've had 3 winning years in how many years? They haven't won a playoff series since 40 years ago.
Right.
Name another team in any other sport that's been this bad.
Well, they've been bad. They've had 4 winning seasons in the last 5, right? Or the last 6. But yeah, I mean, the way they're going now, this is when you get to the point where people have to be let go. Whether or not Bob Nutting can do that, or wants to do that, or is interested enough to know that it's time to do that, that's another matter. I'll address this in my wholly unanticipated Sunday column, Richie.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. Right. I'm saying that, Bucko fever, I've had it all year, but it's an actual...
You had it up until June 4th.
June 4th, you're right, but it's an actual sickness now if you have Bucko fever. So we're going out to Jim out in Cranberry. What's up, Jim?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Hey, just going back to your previous point, I mean, are the Pirates the most embarrassing team you've ever watched in your life, or what? It seems like every year since they made their run, and the 3 years made the wild card, they blow up, and even the year before that, they blow up. And you know what? It's just so frustrating. They have a $50 million payroll after they cut everybody. I mean, they got rid of a few guys or whatever. $60 million payroll. I mean, I don't even know who to blame. This is the most embarrassing team. And I'll tell you what, I heard Neil Huntington a few years ago on The Fan said something about Polanco. They were upset with him about because he hustled out a play and he hurt his hamstring or something. This is the dumbest franchise I've ever it's just unbelievable. It is the stupidest franchise. Someone's got to go. And I'm not blaming all on Hurdle. I think it's more the general manager. But you know what? The owner is the big problem. He isn't going to do anything. He isn't going to pay 2 managers in the same year. It's an embarrassment. You know what? I complain, but I'll watch him again next year. So
I think that's the way every fan feels. Everyone's complaining right now, and they'll still get people at the ballpark. I'm anxious to see what the rest of the home games look like, Gene, who shows up. And I point the finger at Huntington. Nutting. He deserves 90% of the blame. You can blame Huntington to a point of maybe not drafting the right guys, missteps with scouting, not developing guys. But you have to blame Nutting because he hasn't really given these guys the resources to win. And that's my opinion. And, I don't even know if Nutting cares. He pretends he cares, but he doesn't live in Pittsburgh. He's never around. I don't know if he really cares to win. Last year was a winning season, Gene, but it didn't feel that way.
That's right, yeah. All of these facts have been established on this show for many years. Pirate payroll is not sufficient to make them consistently competitive, and it's never going to change. And there's no reason why fans wouldn't be frustrated or shouldn't be frustrated, but that's where the Pirates are.
Here's the thing, Gene. They're so into analytics and numbers and stats. Well, look at the last 20 years. Look at the stats there. What doesn't payroll tell you something?
Yeah, other teams have stats too.
Yeah.
Analytics, biorhythms, everything they chart, everything they eat, every step they take. Other teams are doing that too.
Yeah, obviously what they're doing is wrong. All right, we're going to take a break. Back with more of your phone calls, maybe some of your tweets coming up next. Stay right there.